Does heaven really exist, and how do we enter? Have you ever wondered, is there really a heaven? Where do we go after we die? And if heaven does exist, how do we enter? This is one of the oldest, most universal questions humanity has ever asked. Every culture, every religion, every civilization across time has pondered the mystery of heaven, the afterlife, and what happens beyond this life. But today, we're not just going to talk about beliefs. We're going to go deep into ancient teachings, modern scientific theories, my own personal reflections, powerful real world stories, and 10 actionable ways we can prepare for heaven in both a spiritual and practical sense. And at the end, I'll give you a powerful conclusion that might change how you live every single day. What do we mean by heaven? First, let's clarify something important. When most people hear heaven, they imagine a place in the clouds, angels singing, eternal peace and happiness. But across traditions, heaven is described in many ways. In Christianity, heaven is union with God, a place of eternal joy, peace, and reunion with loved ones. In Islam, Jannah, a paradise of gardens, rivers, and divine rewards for those who lived righteously. In Hinduism, Svarga, a celestial realm but ultimately temporary, true liberation is moksha, freedom from rebirth. In Buddhism, nirvana is not a place, but a state of liberation from suffering and ego. In many indigenous cultures, heaven is often seen as a spiritual plane where ancestors guide and protect. Even secular thinkers today explore ideas like higher dimensions, simulation theory, consciousness existing beyond the physical brain. My personal struggle with this question. For years, I wrestled with this question deeply. I used to fear death. I used to wonder, what if there's nothing? What if this is all meaningless? But the more I studied, reflected, meditated, the more I shifted. Now I believe heaven may not be just somewhere we go. It may also be something we cultivate inside. The key question isn't only, does heaven exist? But also, am I living in alignment with heaven right here, right now? Let's now briefly touch on what science says. Near death experiences, NDEs. Thousands of people report remarkably similar experiences after clinical death. Light, peace, unconditional love, meeting deceased relatives. While skeptics say it's brain chemistry, others believe it points to consciousness beyond the body. Quantum physics. Some theories suggest multiple dimensions, parallel realities, or even the possibility of consciousness existing outside physical time and space. The simulation hypothesis. Some scientists argue that we might be living inside a simulation where death could simply be logging out into another realm. Science hasn't proven or disproven heaven, but it keeps the door open to possibilities beyond material existence. Let me share with you a classic story, the river and the ocean. There's an ancient parable. A small river asked the ocean, "What happens when I finally reach you?" The ocean smiled, "You don't disappear, you become me." Many traditions describe heaven in this way, the small, limited self dissolving into something vast, eternal, and whole. Are we worthy of entering heaven? Almost every spiritual path teaches that entry into heaven isn't automatic. It depends on how we live. Common themes include purity of heart, love for others, forgiveness, compassion, surrendering ego, alignment with divine will. It's not about perfection, it's about transformation. My own shift in thinking. I used to believe heaven was a destination after death. Now I see it more like this. Heaven is a state of consciousness. When I let go of anger, I taste heaven. When I forgive someone, I feel heaven. When I surrender my ego, I glimpse heaven. When I serve others, I experience heaven. I believe the degree to which we live in love, peace, and humility here may reflect the reality we experience when we leave this world. Let's look at real life people who reflect heavenly consciousness while alive. Number one, Mother Teresa. She dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor with complete humility and love. Number two, Nelson Mandela. After 27 years of imprisonment, he forgave his captors, choosing unity over revenge. Number three, the Dalai Lama. Despite exile and suffering, he radiates joy, peace, and compassion to millions. These people, while living on earth, created a glimpse of heaven through their consciousness. The dangers of waiting for heaven later. One of the great spiritual errors is postponing heaven. Many people live as if I'll change later, I'll make amends someday, I'll love after I get what I want. But true spirituality is about transforming now. Heaven is not simply a reward after death. It's a way of being we practice moment to moment. Now let's get extremely practical. Here are 10 daily practices I personally use to align myself with heaven here and now. Number one, forgive quickly. I've learned that holding resentment poisons my own peace. Each time I release grudges, I feel lighter, closer to heaven. Number two, practice gratitude. Every morning, I write three things I'm grateful for. This shifts my focus from lack to abundance, a state of heaven. Number three, love unconditionally, I remind myself. Love isn't something to withhold based on others' behavior. Choosing to love freely brings peace. Number four, surrender ego. When my pride rises, I pause and ask, am I defending my ego or honoring truth? Letting go brings me closer to humility and heaven. Number five, serve others. Every act of service, even small ones, expands my heart and connects me to something greater. Number six, control desires. I've learned to master impulses rather than being mastered by them. Desire often pulls us away from peace. Number seven, embrace silence and stillness. Through meditation, I touch the quiet space where heaven begins, the pure presence beyond thought. Number eight, face mortality regularly. I reflect often. If today were my last day, am I living in alignment? This keeps my soul focused on what truly matters. Number nine, study spiritual texts. Whether it's the Bible, Gita, Tao Te Ching, or Stoic writings, daily wisdom reminds me how to live aligned with higher truth. And finally, number 10, surrender control. I practice letting go of outcomes. The more I trust life's flow, the more I feel guided, protected, and at peace. A classic story, the rich man and the gate of heaven. In Christian tradition, Jesus tells of a rich man who asked how to enter heaven. Jesus said, sell what you have, give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. The man walked away sad, unable to detach from his possessions. The teaching, heaven requires surrender, not just of material things, but of attachment, pride, and self centeredness. What if we're already in heaven or hell? Many great teachers suggest heaven and hell aren't only places, but also states of being. When I'm consumed by fear, greed, envy, I'm tasting hell. When I live in love, peace, gratitude, I'm tasting heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Luke 17:21, near death experiences, modern testimonies. Many people who've had near death experiences describe unconditional love, being enveloped in light, a profound sense of peace, seeing deceased loved ones, a sense of being home. Whether these are glimpses of actual heaven or brain responses, they point towards something beautiful beyond fear. My personal belief today. Today, I believe There is something beyond this life. Consciousness may transcend the physical. Heaven isn't only a destination, but also a present practice. How we live now shapes what we experience later. But more importantly, I no longer wait for heaven. I strive to live it now. Here's the final paradox. The more we let go of trying to earn heaven, the more we surrender ego, the more we live in love, forgiveness, and humility, the closer we draw to heaven naturally. Heaven is not purchased through fear or performance, it's revealed through transformation. Let's recap. Heaven is described differently across traditions, but shares common themes: peace, love, union with the divine. Science hasn't disproven an afterlife and may even point toward dimensions beyond the physical. Real heaven begins now through forgiveness, love, service, surrender, and humility. We can taste heaven in this life by mastering our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The ultimate preparation for heaven isn't fear, it's daily alignment with higher truth. If this message touched your heart, write in the comments, I choose to live heaven now. Like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who may need this reminder. And if you want to go even deeper into self mastery, watch my next video. Do we have free will? The shocking truth about your mind.